Hey guys, Zomfox here, and today it is time to talk about the 2025 All-UFL team. Why? It just got announced. Yes, the first day of basically playoff week, the league has announced who has made the All-UFL team, and honestly, it's a pretty good list. There's a couple of gripes I have with it, but overall, this is probably the best list that we've seen in the 5 seasons we've had this era of spring football. Before we get into it, apologies for the face. I was about to do some stuff outside, so I put in some sunscreen, but this came out and I had to make this video. Let's get started with the All-UFL offense. Yes, this time they decided to make the graphic really bad by using alphabetical, but the quarterback ended up going to Bryce Perkins. To many people, this signifies he is going to get MVP, though it's not a guarantee. Obviously, we just saw in the NFL that the All-League team and the MVP ended up being different, but with who votes on these things, it's a very good indication that Perkins is a good shot at winning MVP. Receivers, we'll get to that later because we have Chris Rowland, Tyler Vaughns, and Deon Cain getting it. One of those guys is not like the others in terms of who should have been it. Jacob Sailors and Jashawn Corbin got your running backs. Hard agree, both those guys had really solid seasons. I know Sailors was a bit hit or miss on the ground, but when you combine when he was hot and just how good of a receiving threat he is, he had to make this list. And Jashawn Corbin gave you a couple really good games all year. Then you had a couple tight ends make the list, Gunnar Oaks and Sal Cannella, as yes, they've been adding a couple extra spots than usual. Love seeing Oaks get that, especially considering he didn't do much last year, came in here and had a really solid season. Sal Cannella had a couple of big fumbles, but the main reason is because he kept getting the ball. He was a really big receiving threat for him. There was a couple other tight ends that played solid, but not too much there. Then the O-line, you had Cole Carroll, you had Steven Gonzalez, Mike Penasuk. Again, you had a couple of those, Knights from the St. Louis Battlehawks. You had Ryan Nelson also made it, and Yasir Durant. Kind of shocked there wasn't more defenders on here, but overall, again, really solid list aside from the receivers we'll get to later. Now, your all-defensive team. Kind of shocking how many DC defenders there are. That's the only thing. Again, I know these guys are really up there statistically, like Derek Robertson, or Robertson was one of the league leaders in sacks, but as an overall unit, it was a pretty poor one. So, shocked seeing 4 guys, cornerback DeAndre Baker, right, Anthony Hines, the linebacker, and Joe Wallace, as well as aforementioned Robertson. Again, Joe Wallace had a great season as well. He's a legit case DPOY, but again, it's shocking seeing that many DC defenders make the list. Devontae Beckett, linebacker, not even shocked. Like I said, the linebackers for the Browns are like the only part of the team that didn't, fall apart. Leon O'Neal, Ajeen Harris, 2 other guys in the back end that easily deserve this. Willie Harvey had another great year. Congrats to him being another All-UFL linebacker once again. Arnold Tarpley, and Kendrick Whitehead, a couple other Michigan Panthers that made it on the back end. Peta, again, he's the league leader in sacks. Very good case for DPOY. Congrats to him on being an All-UFL player and another All-League player. And then Perion Winfrey also had a really solid season. So, All-UFL defense, again, it's hard to really say that there's certain guys who could have made it. There's a couple of arguments. You could make an argument that Odom could have made it. Could have made an argument that, another linebacker or 2 from the Brahmas could. But overall, it's a solid list. There's really not one that's super glaring. Special teams, again, pretty solid. Alex Matheson was your long snapper. Punter was Brad Wing. I know statistically, like an average, he wasn't the best. Well, you consider how many punts he did have and how many he did punt in the 20. Pretty hard to not give it to him. I know some might say Marquette King, but King, his average was quite a bit lower than Brad Wing. And again, Wing had to punt all the time, so give him credit there. Chris Rowland, for both a punt and kick returner, if you're going to give just one returner, you're going to give it to him. Yes, I think that at their specific thing, Deon Cain may have been better, but Rowland did both, and that is a big deal. Definitely deserved to be a 2-time All-UFL player this year. And Rodrigo Blankenship, dude never missed a kick. The one that he had that didn't go in was short, but he never kicked it left or right. That is insanely commendable. He never had a kick blocked. Again, the one kick that was a technical miss was because it was too short. Easily deserved it. Now the receiver, we got to talk about it. This is the one glaring issue. Tyler Vaughns, dude, you're a great player. You should not have made this list, okay? There's a good argument that he's like the 5th most deserving receiver, not one of the 3 most. Justin Hall broke the record for most receptions in a season. Now, yes, I know some people say that makes him kind of a receptions merchant, but again, his yak was insanely high. Chris Rowland was just barely above him, but again, Justin Hall still had a high total in that. There were 4 receivers that had 500 yards, and Justin Hall was one of them. Yet, you gave it to Tyler Vaughns, who, yes, he had 4 touchdowns, but it's not like he had, like Deon Cain 6. It's not like he had an insane amount. Seosa Mariner, I get he didn't have receiving touchdowns, or let me rephrase that, didn't have receiving touchdowns, but he still had 1, and again, he only had 31 receptions, yet still finished with over 500 yards. Him and Deon Cain made the most of their limited reception they had all season. So your league leader in receiving yards and your league leader in receptions, neither one of them got it, but Tyler Vaughn's did. I don't know about that, especially considering the fact that, the Renegades offense was one of those more pass-heavy offenses. The Michigan Panthers did run the ball a decent amount. And the Roughnecks, considering the fact that he had to play with 3 different quarterbacks all year, I don't know about that one. No offense to Renegades fans, but Tyler Vaughn should not have made this list. I think that both Justin Hall and COC Mariner both had far better arguments for this award, but it is what it is. Overall, this has been Zom Fox. Make sure you subscribe to the channel with the bell turned on because I have my playoff power rankings video coming out in just a couple of hours. This video is either going to be posted at 3, 3:30, 4-ish, one of those time slots. And at 6 o'clock EST is when the power rankings video comes out. I'll have my playoff predictions as well as my week review coming out all this week as well. So make sure you subscribe for that. And as always, guys, have a great night.